to
Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. Sam Wakefield here with the Close It Now podcast. I am so excited to introduce this guest today. He is actually a second-time guest. You probably heard him this last year when we were building up towards Profit Rocket, and in last probably August, September timeframe. But he is back now, back with a really awesome topic that we're going to talk about today. And so honestly, I want to give everybody a sneak peek. I honestly have no idea exactly what it is. All I know is just a couple names. So, and I did that intentionally. Normally when I have a guest on, I hang out with them for a few minutes and just really get a sneak peek into what we're going to talk about. But because I know this person fairly well, and also I know his vibe a bit, I wanted to make this really fun for all the listeners. So everyone listening, I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. And not that it's just, hey, let's let conversation go. I honestly, truly have, this is kind of like a blind unboxing moment. So the responses you're going to hear from me and the questions you hear from me will be very authentic. And truly, this will be the first take that I've ever seen of what we're going to talk about today. So with that teaser, let me introduce our guest today. He is the author of 3 books, not one, not two, but 3 books specifically for our industry, for leadership. Actually, the last book that came out, Something to Give, was super impactful in my life, and I definitely appreciate it. Gave me a lot of lessons for leadership, but he's written Pattern for Excellence, Patterned After Excellence, and Something to Give. He is the founder, multi-entrepreneur, entrepreneurial, definitely serial entrepreneur is how you would say that. He has a founder of Afflicare in Salt Lake City, as well as most of you know him as the founder of Power Selling Pros. This is my friend, Brigham Dickinson. Thank you for being on the show today, sir.
Wow. I don't even know what to say after all that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You know, it's always refreshing to have people in an industry, in a space that, you really connect to. You may not see each other very often or periodically, but when you do, it's just like, man, it's like old home week when you do. And that's how I feel every time we talk. And so
I appreciate that.
all the listeners, you will feel the same way if you ever get a chance to visit with Brigham.
I appreciate that. I feel the same way about you, Sam.
Well, thanks, man. So tell us what's going on today. You're here for a very specific reason. And honestly, I don't even know what that is. So fill us in. What's been happening in your world, in Power Selling Pros world?
Yeah. So there's technology that's coming out that's super, super exciting. And it's a whole lot more than what you think, Sam.
Okay.
Because there are actually 3 different types of technology that I'd like to cover today during our time, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Let's rock and roll.
Now, the reason why I want to bring up technology is because it's going to make your life as a business owner, not just you specifically, Sam, but also that of our clients, our mutual clients in this industry. For example, we have a newly formed partnership with Rilla.
Okay.
And Rilla is a technology that records comfort advisors as well as technicians. Now, the piece of that we want to hone in on is what's going on with technicians.
Okay.
The exciting thing is that we have over 1,000 trainees in our CSR coaching program. So with CSR coaching, we coach CSRs one-on-one twice a month using their own phone calls. We monitor those calls using a team that saves those calls and basically gives them to the coach that is assigned to each of those CSRs. And that coach will take that call or grouping of calls and provide accountability and coaching to the CSRs in our program using those calls. And so with over 1,000 CSRs in the program, you can only imagine the army of monitors that we've got just monitoring those calls on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so with the advent of this technology that came out with Rilla, well, there's about 4 or 5 technicians for every one CSR. And we're essentially the only training company that's equipped with this team of call monitors that have been monitoring calls for CSRs, and they're looking for very specific things such as positive attitude and confidence and listening and caring, asking the right questions, reassuring the customer that they called the right place.
Sure.
Building value, being grateful. They're looking for soft skills types of things for those technicians. And so, as well as for CSRs now, right? Well, we'll flip those, right? We've been doing it for CSRs, and now we plan to do it with technicians. And so we're very, very excited about this partnership, because while they provide this technology, there are a ton of business owners in our industry that go, wow, okay, great. There's a ton of data here. One manager and 50 technicians, as if they have time to comb through all that data.
Yeah.
They don't.
What in the world are we going to do with it?
Exactly. So there are some that buy the technology and it sits there until they do something specific with it. And so the cool thing is that with our team of call monitors, we can monitor those calls. We can save certain calls for coaching purposes. And what we're going to have is this website, this online platform. It's called Tech Talks.
Okay.
Where we will be able to use the platform to send a text to a technician, and they'll click on the link from that text and they'll be able to see a 5-minute video. It's very specific feedback to that technician based on their calls, based on their recorded calls. And so we'll be working with them on their soft skills. It's something that we're really, really excited about.
I love it. So that actually kind of opens a question. Talk to us about the soft skills. Why is that important? And two, what kind of difference does that make? Now, I know the answer on that with soft skills, but let's focus in on those technicians a little bit and how that will make a difference with their numbers.
Great question. So we have been teaching CSRs for the last 16 years on how to create a wow experience over the phone with a customer. So soft skills are a thing. It's just what we do.
Sure.
So during that period of time, we've had many of our clients say, hey, you guys are awesome at this sort of thing. They've got a great sales process. They have a great system that they're using. They just need the soft skills around it. Can you just please help the technicians? The difficulty there for us has been, well, our model is that we provide coaching accountability. Mm-hmm. We don't want to just come in and train and then never see you again.
Right.
We want to provide that training as the initial expectation for what we're looking to hear when they provide that presentation to a homeowner. That's what we need. If we can't do that, we feel like it's kind of a waste of time. It's a flash in the pan. They're great for 2 weeks, if that, after that training. But we've got to provide the ongoing accountability over time. And so that's been the thing that's kept us from doing that with technicians. But what's interesting is back in 2022, I had Power Ceiling Pros essentially running by itself, even a CEO. And so it gave me some extra time. And after 2 weeks of looking at the wall, right, I realized I needed to do something with my life. And so I started, I had an opportunity from a business owner who said, hey, I hear you've got some extra time in your hands. And I said, actually, I do. And he said, hey, I would like for you to do some ride-alongs with my techs and teach them how to get the customer to like them and such. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. And so for 90 days, I did ride-alongs with all those technicians. And he had about 25 technicians, all plumbing technicians.
Sure.
And man, I learned a ton, Sam, just a ton. I got to the point where I was very, very comfortable inside the customer's home with the technician that I was working with. And during that period of time, they went from total revenue, what was it? It was $500,000 a month to $700,000 a month during that 90-day window. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was just them honing in on their confidence, their listening skills, expressing empathy, reassuring the customer they've called the right place. They're gonna take care of them, building value before they present pricing, essentially getting them to yes or no, that sort of thing. And I realized during my time that technicians, they don't necessarily like selling. Isn't that weird, Sam? I'm sure that's a surprise to you, right?
Absolutely. That's funny. I spent 2 hours with a team of technicians 2 days ago. In fact, in Kansas City, talking about this exact thing.
Weird. So strange. And so funny thing, CSRs feel the same way. They don't like to sell either. Mm-hmm. So what I've been building since then is how CSRs and technicians can actually work in tandem to help the customer feel extremely comfortable in working with the organization. The truth is we underutilize our CSRs, and we absolutely underutilize and undertrain our technicians.
Sure.
Especially on the soft skills side. So here's what I do now. Whenever I go out, I do a CSR training on day one. And then on day two, I get all the technicians together as a group and take just an hour teaching soft skills.
Yeah.
And then I do ride along throughout the day. I'm usually able to get 5 in throughout the day, and it's super fun. And then what I like to do is get back in touch with everybody the next morning and just kind of debrief on what occurred with those that I did ride-alongs with, as well as talk to those who tried some of the things that we taught as well in the Pattern for Excellence. And they were like, yeah, this is good stuff. It definitely works. What's working, what's not working. And it's become very, very fun. I'll tell you one thing that I'd like to ask technicians as a group is simply, guys, how do you get kissed on the first date? Now you got to make sure you know your audience, right, Sam?
Of course.
Because you wouldn't ask a bunch of CSRs this to be very uncomfortable. Like, wait, where's this going? What's this leading to? But with technicians,
you don't want to be one of those infamous trainers in our industry that everybody knows about.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
All right.
But yes, yeah, you don't want to be one of those. But with technicians, you ask that question. It doesn't matter how early it is, Sam. They don't need coffee anymore because they're sitting up in the chair. They're about to learn something cool. And even if they're married, Sam, it doesn't matter because you and I know they haven't been kissed in weeks.
Right.
So they're super excited about this. So I simply say, guys, you've got to create an environment where the date of yours feels very safe in that environment. Now, if they feel safe in that environment, fantastic. If they feel comfortable, that's the second thing that you need. They need to feel comfortable and safe. If they don't feel comfortable and safe, you're not getting kissed. It's just the way it goes. So safety, comfort, and then lastly, just a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
In that environment, you have a very good chance of getting kissed.
Right.
At which point, a very smart alecky technician is going to pipe up and go, wait a minute, you want us to kiss our customers? No, I do not want you to kiss your customers, but I do want you to create an environment of safety, comfort, and fun, because in that environment, you have the opportunity to become very curious about what's going on inside the customer's home. Not just what you were called out to do.
Right.
But everything that's going on inside the customer's home. With that curiosity, you'll be able to provide options based on things that you find. Okay. I love getting the tour. You know, most technicians are like, wait a minute, you want the customer to stay with me the whole time? Yeah. Because when you do that, they actually discover issues along with you, as opposed to you taking pictures and going back and saying, hey, look at all these things that I found. Mm-hmm. You actually can discover it together. And you can point it out to them right there as they're standing over you. And you can say, look, here's what's going on here. Here's what's going on there. You know, and they will ask, well, what can I do about that? Mm-hmm. Glad you asked. Here's what we can do. And we provide all these options, right? We provide all these options. We simply get them to yes or no. Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't start talking about it until we hear a yes or a no. Now, at some point, a technician is going to go, wait a minute. You don't want me to sell? Did I say anything about selling? Did you say anything about selling? No. Nobody said anything about selling. All I want you to do is create an environment of safety, comfort, and fun. Inside that environment, you can get curious about what's going on inside the customer's home. Not just what you were called out to do, but everything that's going on inside the customer's home. Provide options and get to yes or no. That's it. Mm-hmm. Technicians may not want to sell, but they do want to do a good job. So all we need to do is show them what a good job looks like. Okay. Once that expectation is set, Sam, now we can begin to record and listen to those calls on a regular basis. We can use the Rilla technology and listen in on exactly what that technician needs, what's the missing piece or pieces. Mm-hmm. And then we do specific short videos and we send them out to them via text. They click on it, they review it. Now, when they click on it, it'll tell us on Tech Talks whether or not they clicked on it and watched it. So we definitely have a way, finally, to provide accountability long-term for technicians.
I love this so much. This is really, really powerful. So, yeah. And you're exactly right. I mean, I it's funny. We must, so everybody listening, we don't compare notes. It's not like me and Brigham talk shop all the time, but it's almost like you read from my playbook for training technicians and salespeople as well, because it's the same thing. It's like they have to know you, like you, and trust you. But more important, sales should be fun and simple, right? Fun and easy. We overcomplicate it. If we just stop being weird and talk to them like normal people, and then just change a little bit of language patterns, and voila, now we're helpers and not trying to sell something.
Yes. The more complicated a sales system is, the harder it's going to be to follow.
Exactly.
And the minute they have one customer that doesn't respond well to what you believe was a good implementation of that sales system, you throw out the sales system. Mm-hmm. And that is a mistake, because it probably works 70, 75% of the time.
Very true. Yeah, no, 100%. So that is that's incredible. I love my mind just went into overdrive on all the different other ways this could be applied, but I love where you're going with it right now. So is that technology one, or is that the setup for the 3 technologies we're talking about?
That's technology one. The other 2 we're really excited about as well. So you brought up Booked, and Booked is a sister company to PowerSling Pros. For years, our clients have been saying, "Hey, you guys are really great at teaching people how to answer phones. Why don't you just answer my phones for me?"
Right.
Which is, I'm sure, such a shocker for you to hear, that people just want us to do it for them. Right, Sam?
Yeah.
You've never heard that before.
Right.
And so
I don't want to have to staff up for it and hire and train. If I could just speed to implement, have outsource, right?
You got it. And so what we started doing about 2 years ago is we started a call center. Amazingly enough, we have a call center now. We've got over 60 companies that we work with now, answering their phones. And it's mostly overflow nights and weekends. Mm-hmm. And what we do is they're dedicated CSRs to that organization. Okay, we didn't want to be your typical call center where the person answering the phones would answer the phones for multiple companies. We actually wanted them to be a part of that organization.
Sure.
And so we set them up, we train them, we hold them accountable, just like we would our CSRs with PowerSling Pros. And they're booking 93% of their phone calls on average. Now, we guarantee an 85% when we're training the CSRs you have on staff. But our team that we hold accountable with Booked, our sister company, is at 93% right now, which is pretty darn incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So most 9answering services only book 20 to 30% of their phone calls. So for us to be at 93%, it's pretty amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
So here's what's really cool. There are a lot of contractors that use the CRM Service Titan. And Service Titan has just come out with a second chance technology. So what is that? Well, they have AI that monitors each call that comes in when you turn it on. And if that call is not booked, they determine, based on algorithms that are set up in the AI, whether or not that is a bookable call. And if that AI determines that it is a bookable call, what it does is it currently gets sent back to the contractor. Now, what do you think the contractor does with that second chance call?
Well, most of them, they probably go, "I didn't book this the first time. Let's throw it in the trash."
They don't even call them back. They don't even pay attention to it. Okay, so this doesn't help Service Titan at all, because Service Titan actually makes money when you call them back and book it. So if you book it, that's the only way Service Titan makes money, off of the second chance technology. So even if you turn it on, that doesn't mean anybody makes money. You only make money if you book it. So what are we doing? Well, because of Booked and our call conversion right now at 93%, we are now talking to many of our contractors about having them not only turn it on, but to have them send it to our team.
Sure.
Let our team book that. So obviously, now with this amazing technology that's available to you, you just got to turn it on, right? If you're using Service Titan, just turn it on. And if it's booked, yeah, you're going to pay for that, just like you would any advertising, right? But if it's not booked, guess what? You don't pay a dime.
I love this. This is so cool. It's almost like your own incoming lead rehash program.
You got it. You got it. If your CSRs, for whatever reason, didn't book it, we'll get a second chance at it, right? If the algorithms decide that it deserves a second chance, we grab it and we book it.
Love it. Oh, so cool.
Yeah. Very, very excited about that technology. Now, I promised you 3, not just 1, not just 2, but 3. That's what you said at the beginning of this.
You got it, man. Let's. I feel like number 3 might be even the punchline here. So let's see. I really have no idea what's coming, everybody listening. And so let's camp out on this for a second before we get to number 3.
Yeah.
because this is so valuable. There's a lot of the companies I work with, and of course you work with this way more than I do across the country. But the thing that I hear is exactly this: those leads will come in and they don't know how to book them, or they don't book them well, or I'll be doing ride-alongs, and the people I'm riding with, either the advisors or the technicians, they tell me these things like, the notes that we had is nothing like what the homeowner said once we actually got there. It's like walking into a completely different call than what we even expected. So I can see how all of this is going to help that process so much to tie those two divisions together. So there's way less divide and way less animosity between them too, because now it's going to be more like one team moving forward.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Let me dial in on that real quick. So there's, on the CSR side, there is talk that somehow AI is going to replace them. And that may be true if they're not very good.
Right.
Okay. If they're not very good, yes, a robot's going to replace you. It's only a matter of time. Okay. It certainly happened in the auto industry.
Sure. Heck, in fast food, you can order from the screen now, right?
Exactly. But it's interesting though, that at Chick-fil-A, they still have people standing outside waiting for you. Mm-hmm. Right. They obviously haven't found a robot that can replace them. In fact, they've doubled down on that experience, and they have two people out there, one that takes your order along with your name. It's so subliminal, you don't even notice it, right?
Yep.
But as soon as you get to the window, they begin to use your name as if they always knew the name. Mm-hmm. Right. And you're going, wow, that's impressive. What happened here? Because there's 3 or 4 cars ahead of you. And by the time you got to the window, from the time you provided your order or they took your order, you forgot the fact that they actually took your name. Mm. So you're impressed. You're shocked. You're like, holy cow, everybody's using my name. Like, I come here all the time. Right? This is my catering business, right? And it's fantastic. Or my caterer, right? I love my caterer. And you get to that window, and now they don't even have to hand it. You don't have to grab it through the window. They actually have somebody standing outside the window that grabs the food through the window, and then they give it to you. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. It's an amazing experience.
Customized personal experience. Yeah.
And this is why you pay the extra $2 instead of going to McDonald's per meal or what have you. But there's a reason why I brought this up. We can duplicate the same experience over the phone between the CSR and the technician. Mm-hmm. Okay, here's what I mean by that. Right now, we probably pay a CSR a salary. Okay. There is a much better way. There is a much better culture that we can build in our CSR department. Here's what I mean by that. We would like for our CSRs and or dispatchers to be more engaged in the selling process. In other words, before Billy, the technician, gets out there, why not have the CSR call a half hour ahead of time or half hour before and simply say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, Billy is on his way. He's a half hour out. Be sure to ask. Now, you're probably going to have something to say based on the conversation you just had with them when you booked that call. Mm-hmm. It could be about asthma. It could be about a cold room in the back of the house. It could be about any number of things that you discussed or that happened to come up while you guys were talking. Now, if you're listening and caring and reassuring in the beginning of that phone call with the homeowner, chances are something will come up. In other words, if you're following the process, the pattern for excellence that we teach, right, something's going to come up. They're going to share something with you. And your job is to take copious notes so that by the time Billy is on his way out there, not only are you arming Billy with all that information, you're reminding the customer what they should be looking for. Mm-hmm. Say, for example, their system is 12 years old and they've been working on it, the same system, and they should consider whether or not to replace it. We could get to the point where the CSR is simply saying over the phone, hey, have you ever considered replacing your unit? We've been working on it for the last 12 years. You've gotten some great life out of it. And we can even get them approved for financing before the comfort advisor technician comes out. Imagine that, Sam. Imagine a CSR being able to approve a customer for financing even before your team comes out. How easy would that make the sale?
That's so incredible. Yeah. They show up and be like, okay, what are we doing? Here's what we have funding for.
Crazy thing. So Billy comes out. He knows he's going to be asking about these things because the CSR, right? The homeowner knows they're going to be asking about it because the CSR prepped the homeowner and Billy on what they should be looking for, right? Samantha mentioned the CSR. Samantha mentioned that you have a home and you have a room in the back of your house that is colder than usual. Why don't we go back there and check that out?
Yeah, show me.
Wow, it is a little brisk back here. My gosh, did Samantha happen to mention some of the things that we can do, whether it's a mini split or what have you, or some zoning technology? And we're off, right? We're off to the races. We're talking about different things that we can. Now we're solving problems we're not solving at all.
Right.
Right? We're fixing things that they've been putting up with. After the call is over, Billy leaves. Thank you so much, Mr. Customer Assist Customer. So great to work with you today. They leave. What does Samantha do? Samantha calls in afterwards and says, hey, how did Billy do? Oh, Billy was great. Good. Did he ask about that room in the back of the? Oh, he certainly did. Awesome. And what about that inhaler that you mentioned that you were talking about when we were on the phone? Oh yeah, he totally talked to us about some really cool indoor air quality stuff, some UV lights and some air scrubbers and so on and so forth. Awesome. I noticed on your notes you're getting the air scrubber. Yeah, we're really excited about that. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for you. That's so great. And we can talk about service agreements and so on and so forth. Now, the back you're going, holy cow, that's a lot. Well, yeah, it's a lot. Our goal is to provide an amazing customer experience, just like they do at Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Do you not see the similarity between the Chick-fil-A experience and the experience I'm describing here? Now, Sam, we don't have to pay a salary anymore. We can pay a small base, and we pay them based on average ticket between them and the technician.
Ooh, brilliant. I love this.
AI is not going to replace that.
No.
We just need for this. Oh, and not only that, now the CSR has a way to control their own income. Mm-hmm. Now they become more self-reliant. Now they want to stay in that seat for longer.
Right.
They're not looking to move up. They're already at the top, Sam. They're at the top.
Yeah. Oh, I love this too, because and we all know that there's the different divisions. For way too many years, the CSR team has been almost looked down upon as just a necessary thing instead of, and I love the way that you've always phrased it, turn your call center into a profit center.
Yes.
Because it should be. It absolutely should be. And that team deserves as much investment into training and growing and developing as any of the other divisions. And it's funny. I was interviewing Brianna McAdory just the other day, 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Her episode came out, and that was one of the things we talked about, because I mean, she is talk about turning things around. I mean, at 23, she steps into a $35 million a year company, and by 25, she had grown it to 50. And I was like, how'd you do it? She says, well, I start with the very first face or representative that the homeowner ever touches. She's like, I always start in the call center. Always. We have to get that right before we do anything else. And it's clear the results when that happens.
Yes.
Love
absolutely.
That. So, well, cool. We'll continue.
Yeah. The only reason why a CSR feels like they're at the bottom of the totem pole is because we don't give them any attention in that department. And we should flip that on its head.
Yeah.
They should get most of the attention.
Yeah. They're the ones truly driving our ship, or driving the bus on this thing.
Yeah. And if we can get them selling, say, for example, something simple, memberships over on inbound phone calls. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just start there for a moment, Sam. Okay. Let's say that we pay them $10 per club membership. All right. Let's say they take 30 phone calls a day. I realize they might take more than that, but just for the sake of simple math, 30 phone calls a day. And at the end of the phone call, after they've booked it, they've created a wow experience for that customer. You simply say, or you ask, hey, Mr. Jones, I'm looking at your notes. I noticed that you don't have a membership with us. I'm wondering why not. That's it. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about it. Or I don't know what it is, right?
Yeah,
it'll be those types
more
of
about
responses.
That. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or Sam, let's be honest. I'm good there. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And that's fine. Our goal is to get them to yes or no. Okay. So we have 30. And let's say we have 20 out of the 30 that say, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Great. What that means, though, is that there are 10 that say, well, tell me more about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So let's say out of the 10, there are actually 2 that move forward with the membership. Now, the CSR or the dispatcher has $20 in their pocket that they didn't have before. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's say they do that 5 days a week. Now they have $100 in their pocket a week that they didn't have before. Okay, so times that by 50 weeks, because 52, I realize there's 52 weeks in a year, but nobody works 52 weeks. So let's just say 50.
Vacation. Yeah.
You got it. $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
5,000. Now, what would a CSR do with an extra $5,000? You guys, a whole lot. A whole lot. Mm-hmm. If we can begin just with a spark like that on the inbound calls. Now, when calls aren't coming in, they're not reading their favorite novel anymore, Sam. They're not, doing collections anymore. What a waste. Mm-hmm. They're calling out on happy calls and they're doing the same thing. Hey, how did Billy do? Oh, he did great. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I noticed that while he was out there, that you didn't get a membership. Did he not talk to you about that? Oh, he did. He did. We just thought that maybe, it wasn't the right time. Well, the only reason why it makes sense is because it prevents things like this, the thing that you're dealing with right now, from happening. Okay, if for whatever reason Billy didn't get it, why don't you get it? Mm-hmm. Call them back and get it. They can only say no so many times, right, Sam?
Exactly.
And we just got to get them in the right. It's amazing. It's amazing to me whenever I take a technician into a customer's home, and I put the CSR on speaker, mm-hmm. and that nice, sweet, kind female voice crushes it every time, just like we taught her to do. And they could be saying no to me. I don't want to do anything new, anything different, right? Because we're out there doing some sort of membership, some sort of cleaning type of thing. They say no. And by the time they're done talking to the CSR, and when you send somebody out, make sure you tell them that I'm interested in this, this, and this. Now, of course, she didn't say any of that to me.
Right.
Which is fine, right? I don't have that much. I try not to have that much of an ego, Sam. I really try not. But when that CSR is just being super sweet, super kind, and super nice, next thing you know, that what have they done? They've created a buying environment inside that home, mm-hmm. right? They've created a buying environment inside that home where the customer can consider their needs without feeling pressured.
Yep.
Or hooked into
safe.
A cell.
Yeah, they feel safe. They feel listened to. They feel like, oh man, that person on the phone, that's somebody I can trust.
Yeah. And I knew it. I know what you were getting at there, Sam. Safety, comfort, fun. Crazy. It works. So yeah, that's our goal with the CSRs. Get them to the point where they begin to see the opportunities, mm-hmm. and the gateway, right? Little gateway drug, Sam.
Yeah.
The gateway is through membership sales. You do it on the inbound calls. You'll be able to see how easy it is, mm-hmm. so that you'll have more courage to do it on the outbound calls. Sure. And then from there, we can start talking about other types of mm-hmm. opportunities.
Yeah. Do the one thing and then just roll one more thing and one more thing. Love it.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So I'm full of anticipation. What is number 3?
Okay.
Unless there's more to this part right here.
No.
We're dropping some major nuggets for everybody listening. I hope you are taking notes. You probably better listen to this more than once, just like the other episode with Brigham, everybody. But wow, what we've covered so far, if somebody did any one of those things, their business would explode.
Yeah, for sure. When I was a lead coordinator, that's how I started in this industry years ago, about 20 years ago, for a company called Arctic Air. Mm-hmm. It's now called Royal Air. Owner's name is Royal Hockley. Awesome guy. Certainly a mentor of mine, and a good person, good friend for many years. He's the one that got me into the industry, as a matter of fact. But when I was the lead coordinator, I had 3 comfort advisors that I was booking calls for. And man, I was good. Whenever somebody was hot, whenever a comfort advisor was hot, that would be the one that I would go. That was my go-to guy, right?
Yeah.
Go to.
Right appointment for the right tech.
You got it. And yes, it was very much based on how their disposition, what specifically they were looking for. Because way back when I had Jesse he had no problem going through the crawl spaces. Mm-hmm. Right. And he was all about duct replacement and indoor air quality. And I mean, he really got his hands dirty. I loved sending him out to some very specific jobs based on what I heard from the customer. But then there was guys like Louis, and Louis, he's super friendly and such, but he was also a bigger, heavier set guy.
Yeah.
And he's certainly not going to go through the crawl spaces. Right. In fact, he'd say, Brigham, please, I love you, man, but But don't send me to those, those dark,
Don't see me in the tiny holes.
places. Give those to Jesse. I mean, and so that's what I would do. I'd send them to Jesse. Crazy thing, Sam, he's now an owner at Royal Air. Jesse is.
I love it.
He's a total beast, right? Total beast, great leader. But back then he was scrappy, right? He was not afraid to do whatever it took. And then of course there was Mike, and Mike, geez, man, he was your car salesman, right? I mean, he was great, and some people he would hook real easily, but others he could just totally turn off.
Repel.
And so I needed to make sure I dispatched the right way. Well, crazy thing, there is some amazing technology that ServiceTitan has come out with called Dispatch Pro. And I realized I'm totally giving ServiceTitan all kinds of plugs.
It's like, wait a minute, are you getting paid by them or what?
No, not at all. Not a dime. It's a great idea, though,
that's
Sam.
That's why I asked, though, because for everybody listening, clearly Brigham's just excited about this technology. There's no back end on this for him. And so, and that's what most of the people that I have on too, it's the same, everybody. We just find the best people and share.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this technology is that it uses algorithms to determine which of your technicians and comfort advisors are hot, right? If they're hot and they have momentum, we certainly want to dispatch them first. And the cool thing about the technology is once you turn it on, you're using it correctly. It'll help you make sure that you keep those hot technicians and those hot comfort advisors to the right jobs. And so you don't have to do much thinking anymore, Sam. You can just use that technology and let them do the thinking for you.
So it sounds like just a super quick marketing tagline. What I'm hearing is it's basically AI supported call by call management would be one way to say it. Yeah.
So here's the reason why I'm excited about the technology. We train CSRs, dispatchers, lead coordinators. The less thinking they can do about where does this person go, because what is it? It's Tetris. Absolutely. Okay, you're playing a game of Tetris. Your goal is to fill the box and to put as many appointments in there as possible. That requires a different type of mindset than a customer experience mindset.
Right.
Okay. The more I'm trying to stuff boxes, the less customer experience oriented I'm going to be.
Sure.
But if I can get AI to do all that thinking for me, I can just zero in on the customer and what they need. I can listen to them. I can reassure them. I can empathize with them. I can connect with them on an emotional level. That's why I'm excited about it, because it helps them follow the process that I need them to follow.
Right.
Our goal is for us to be the only ones that go out to the customer's home. The way that we do that is providing a phenomenal experience over the phone. If you've got technology that available to you that helps you think less, use it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I tell people all the time, most people don't lack resources. They lack resourcefulness. It's like, let's use the things we have available to us and find the tools that are out there because they exist. A good example is like all the different thousands of things that your cell phone can do while you're there, but we just don't ever use it. Right? Let's get resourceful. And I love the advent of this to make things so much simpler and easier for us.
Yeah. Imagine a CSR going through the coaching program and we're talking about soft skills and they're saying things like, Brigham, I don't have time to listen and care and reassure and be all lovey-dovey. I don't have time for that. I need to know where they're going and when we're going to get out there. Don't you think that's more important? And now we're arguing whether or not it's important. Well, yeah, of course. Yes, it's important. Granted, it's important. If that customer doesn't like you and you're one of 5 bids, you're setting the comfort advisor up to fail.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Exactly.
Well, he should just go out and sell. Well, look, that's what we're telling him or her. By the way, we need more female comfort advisors and technicians. We want more female comfort advisors and technicians.
Agreed.
So don't get thrown by my he or she type of thing. Okay.
Yes.
We want
women belong in the trades.
Yes. The more the merrier. It's amazing to me. Side note, I realize this is a tangent, but we're both hyperactive, right, Sam?
Totally cool. Yeah.
It is amazing to me. When a guy is super passionate about what they do, they are good soldiers. Okay. They will do it and they'll work day and night right? Because that's what they do. That's what they're made of. They're passionate, right? If they're purposeful in their work. The cool thing about females is they have the ability to see, they're more broad in their view. They're able to see what the customer is dealing with. They're able to see what the business owner needs. They're able to see what their coworkers need. They're able to see it all. They even know what the weather's like outside. They're able to look at it all. They've got a broader view. And so with that broader view, it's easier to relate. It's easier to empathize, right?
Sure.
They do
well, they're
empathy
naturally more.
Yes,
they're naturally
they do it
more
on autopilot.
empathetic.
We have to think about it. We have to think about it. We have to I'll give you an example of this, Sam. Another tangent.
Love it.
Over the weekend, I was watching my granddaughter. It was my wife was going out with her friends to watch Garth Brooks in Las Vegas. And so I had my granddaughter for the weekend, right? My daughter and my granddaughter live with us currently. And so I was excited. I was excited, right? And I, as soon as my daughter was going to work, she said, "Okay, here's Dream, your granddaughter." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I say to myself
time
out loud,
super quick.
Yeah.
Your granddaughter's name is Dream?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Super cool. I love that.
Yeah. And she's gorgeous too. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick. Now everybody's going to have to watch it. They can't just listen. They have to watch.
Well, I have to, you're forcing, this is cool because you're forcing me to actually get the YouTube rolling and get this one up so people can see it. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She is.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So not only do I not make junk, not even my kids make junk, Sam. They're gorgeous. Every one of them. Every one of them. Okay. So my daughter's leaving. And I say this out loud. I say, "I am my grandpa. I am a grandpa. I am a grandpa." Why am I doing that? Well, because for the last 4 months, Sam, I've been out and about being a business owner, making things happen, right? Helping contractors.
Right.
And so I needed to change my mindset so I didn't forget the fact that I've got a granddaughter, right, that I'm taking care of. And so, of course, as soon as I said that, my daughter looks at me and says, "Should I be concerned?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to get in the mindset, right? I'm proactively getting in the mindset here so that I can be the best grandpa ever, right? Because that's what we do.
Be present right now."
Yes. And we're very good at doing one thing very well, but we have to focus in on it. Well, what we do well, when we focus in on it, women do well in autopilot.
Yes. Okay.
So not only do they the grandma, right, or whatever, but they're also running a business. They're also doing their thing elsewhere. It is incredible. It is incredible. You know, it is almost Mother's Day. Of course, when this episode comes out, it'll be after Mother's Day. But you know, women are amazing. So the more we can get into this industry, I promise it'll be better, not only for the industry, it'll be better for your organization, because there's this thing, there's things that they see that we don't.
100% agree with this. So powerful.
Where was I? We were talking about something else before we jumped onto these tangents.
we were landing into kind of wrapping up technology number 3.
Oh yeah. So our goal is to get to the point where a CSR doesn't have to think about anything except the customer. We want them to be hungry to help that customer take care of all their needs. And Sam, there are so many things that we notice inside, legitimate things that we notice inside a customer's home. And chances are that CSR, that dispatcher, is going to uncover those things. And if they can arm the technician with those same items, boy, it's going to be a great experience for the homeowner, a great experience for the technician, and a much more fulfilling experience for the CSR as well as everybody involved.
100% agree. Oh my gosh. And that's where the conversation comes in too, of how do we serve this, like the conversation with the technicians that's like true, that don't want to sell. I'm like, being a sales trainer, I literally tell them all the time, and I'll tell everyone this: I really hate salespeople. I am not a fan of salespeople. I love the psychology, I love the process, but if you're going to come in here and sell something, you truly don't care about them. You only care about you and your paycheck. And so that was I know you have the same message to technicians. Like, the best way we can help people is by them buying from us, because if they don't, what happens? They'll go with either the super overpriced company in town that's taking advantage of them, or they'll go with some chuck in a truck that's going to also taking advantage of them, but now they're not doing it right. Then they're going to have to call you back to fix it anyway. So why not just cut all of that out and help them right the first time? But we can't do it for free. So you have to allow them to buy from you. And that's the whole point is ask questions, ask more questions, then offer solutions to the things that they say they have and let them buy. And that's really it. And geez,
Yes.
that's the mindset for technicians, has to be that. It's like, how can I best help? And it's not just a cheap fix. It's what is the best solution for them for the long run.
Yeah. It's not good customer service for you to be out there every other month fixing or replacing yet another part.
Exactly.
You've just got to come to terms with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about finding the Goldilocks zone.
Yes.
Okay. There are contraries in life. There are contraries, and the Goldilocks story, let's call it, is a great way to illustrate those contraries. Okay. So Goldilocks goes into a house. Crazy thing. Nobody's in there, but there's porridge. Okay. There's porridge that's too cold. There's porridge that's too hot. And there's porridge that's just right.
Mm-hmm.
And which one does she have? Weird. The one that's just right.
Of course.
Okay. So our goal when we go into a home is to do what is just right for the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Not too hot, not too cold. What's just right.
Right. I agree. And man, can I make that retranslate it and be a little more applicable here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So really, for everybody listening, that's if you're an advisor, if you're a service tech, whatever role you have, that just right is, if you're not offering enough things and the single piece repair, and you're going to probably be there in 2-3 months, that's too cold, right? That's not enough. If you're out there and you literally make a list of every single possible thing you could possibly sell and you're fabricating problems that don't exist, that's also a problem. That's what's given our industry a black eye for the last 2 or 3 decades, is all these companies out here, telling homeowners to swap out their 5-year-old system because they have a bad capacitor. That's a whole different problem. Just right is, I'm here to offer you solutions for the problems that you care about, that are important to you, because we have to remember, people buy what they want, not necessarily always what they need. It's our job to connect the dots there with what they want and benefits to what we sell, and show them that what we can do for them is what they want. So it's learning better communication and soft skills. Imagine that.
Yeah, so you're totally right. Our goal here is for the technician to go home feeling good about what they just did.
Yes.
As well as for the homeowner to feel good, not just the next day, but forever about what was done.
Agreed.
Now, I realize that those listening are going to be like, yeah, duh. Okay. I appreciate that you respond that way. The thing is that even though this is common knowledge, mm-hmm. it is not common practice. What Sam and I are trying to say in a very nice way mm-hmm. is that there are douchebags that are selling things to customers that they don't need, and it makes the rest of us look bad.
Agreed.
And we're simply, in a very nice way, trying to ask you, for all of our sakes, knock it off.
100%.
Feel good about what you did for that customer by offering things that they legitimately need. And trust me, there's plenty. You just got to get creative. You just got to get the tour. You've got to earn the tour, go through the house, uncover what's needed. Mm-hmm. You provide the solutions. You let them say yes or no. Don't decide for them.
Right.
You let them say yes or no. And I promise you, not only are you going to feel good about what was done, they're going to feel good about it. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but forever. Mm-hmm. Goldilocks zone, baby. Find the Goldilocks zone.
The Goldilocks zone. This is hashtag Goldilocks. This is so good. I'm gonna mention this, and this actually loosely ties into what we were talking about before we started recording, but I'm going to position it the right way, I think. So, everybody listening, there is an expression that's gone around in our industry for quite a few years now: get your mom out of the truck. And the intention of that training was, if you feel convicted or you feel grossed out by the things I'm telling you to say, as if your mom was there, you wouldn't say it in front of her, then kick her out of the service truck so you can actually say those things to homeowners. And I'm here to completely disagree with that. I'm like, if you have to kick your mom out of the truck because you feel gross saying this in front of her, maybe you shouldn't be saying this at all. How about we recreate ourselves and serve people in such a way where you would be proud to have your mom there? That's truly the heart of service that we're really trying to talk about right now. It's like, get the right service mindset and attitude, and who cares if your mom and grandma are in the truck with you? They would support you in that instead of having to kick them out because they might not like what you're saying. That's my message right now.
I love that. I often ask people when I start a presentation is, who do you believe is the greatest salesperson of all time? And about 50% of the time, the answer that comes back is Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I love that answer. I think that's the greatest answer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of unfair because he's part God, but he's a great salesperson. Mm-hmm. Now, it is my belief that the more you get to know Jesus, the more that you're going to want to be like him. And so however way that you feel comfortable being motivated to do what's right, do it. If it takes a stronger spirituality to do that, great, do it. Because trust me, the more you get to know Jesus, the more you will see that he is a master of the Goldilocks zone. He is a master of recognizing contraries and finding that happy middle.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Well, and talk about a leader. It took 12 people and created probably one of the biggest organizations of all time.
Yes. And look at those people.
Yeah.
They were fishermen. One was a Jesuit. One was a collector of funds. Nobody liked him because he was a Jew taking tax dollars from Jews. Mm-hmm. He took the most oddball people and made them apostles.
Right.
Pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, and the coolest part to me is he had a very short window of opportunity to do it, to recruit and train. And then the minute that he wasn't there, none of them went, oh, well, I don't know what to do now because the leader's not here. He created other leaders. So talk about that's true leadership, is creating leaders, not just creating people who follow. And so, man, there's so many lessons in that we can apply. But so then his leaders went on and did exactly as directed, and then grew and became more, because that was the message is, and you will do more than I did. And they took it to heart and actually implemented it.
Yes. So if you get nothing else out of this podcast, trust us when we say that the more you get to know Jesus, the more you will want to be like him.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever your spiritual belief is, do that. Right. If it's Jesus, absolutely learn that. If whatever it is, align with your core values. Do the things you know you should be doing, and you will grow as a person to become someone worth buying from, and sales will follow. Work on yourself first, and the rest happens.
Sam and I aren't saying we're perfect. No. We make mistakes just like everybody else. But what we are saying is that we're doing everything we can to be like the best salesman of all time.
Right.
And it's got to be Jesus, right? That answer is the best answer. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah. I mean, next to that, I don't even know who to guess. We can talk about Zig Ziglar or somebody, but I mean,
not even close. He's human.
Not even close to the global reach, right?
And he would tell you himself that he's not even close.
I love where our podcasts go. Who knows where we're going to land? Let's roll with that. Let's spin the wheel.
You know how he got into the training business, Zig Ziglar? He was watching his pastor encourage people. Mm-hmm. And from that moment, he said to himself that he wanted to invest the rest of his life in encouraging people. How cool is that?
Oh, that's awesome. That's what, before I ever thought about doing a podcast or sales training or anything else, for years, like so many entrepreneurs, I had a whole string of home-based businesses, I was in a ton of different MLMs and, just different companies trying to always working on the side hustle, because I wasn't passionate about like and all in on what I was doing with my life. I had to fix a lot of things with me. And one of the coolest things that happened in that journey and along the way was obviously all the training and the growing and the learning and stuff is the really finding out about how to turn whatever you do in life into a personal growth path that just happens to have a compensation plan attached to it. So being passionate about what we're doing, being passionate. So all your listeners, everybody's listening, be passionate about what you do. If you don't have that Goldilocks moment, don't think that, well, it's because I'm at this company or it's because I'm in this position or whatever. It's not, the grass is not always greener on the other side. That a lot of times it might look that way, but once you get over there, you realize it's full of snakes and spiders and all the things that you don't want. Work on yourself. As you become that person, right? As you work on, focus in on that personal growth, investing in yourself, invest in yourself, go to conferences, buy coaching, do trainings, buy books, buy Brigham's books. They're incredible. All three will help you out. I've got this next podcast that's coming out is with Al Levy. We did the 7-Power Contractor, right? Investing in yourself, right? And as you do that, as you grow, as you become that next level person, man, it's incredible how life changes according to it, and it's not because of what we're doing externally, it's what we're doing internally. And man, that just becomes my passion for helping other people. Oh, but the whole reason we're all over the map today. I think I realized I forgot to take my ADHD meds today, so that's why. The whole point of that was before. See, now I mentioned that and I lost it again. But so we're on this personal growth path. The whole point of that was before I decided to do any training, any coaching or anything years ago, I'm doing all this and I just had these moments of like how to find that path, how to find that vision. And I did a series of Facebook Lives for a year. I took this 30-day challenge and it ended up turning into like 300 Facebook Lives the year those came out. And one of my hashtags was the catalyst for change. The other one was minister of enthusiasm. And my intro every single time was, it's my mission to inspire, encourage, and motivate you to step outside of your comfort zone to live a life that you never thought possible, but to show you how to attain it and achieve it. That was like had become my intro back then before I even knew I was going to be doing this. So man, I relate to that story so well because it's like when you can change, like help people win, right? Help people see and do things differently they've never thought were even possible for their lives, to change their family tree. Man, that is where life gets fulfilling. And
yes,
I know you experience that as well.
Love it.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Well, it is time to land this plane. And so before we do, would you quickly recap the 3 technologies and then leave everybody with a good parting sentiment or words of wisdom or nuggets or however you want to drop this off?
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about Rilla. Amazing technology to record technicians and comfort advisors. The cool thing about it is that we have a team of call monitors that can monitor those calls, comb through that data, and provide ongoing coaching and accountability through videos for your techs. So that's number one. Number 2, second chance leads. If you've got Service Titan, boy, they keep coming out with some really cool stuff. And a second chance lead is something we should all be using, but don't just use it. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're not going to call those leads back, great. Let us do it for you. And if we book it, we're rolling, right?
Yep.
And remember, with Service Titan, you don't pay a dime unless they book it or unless it's booked. Okay. So it's really cool technology and it's a great trade-off, right? It's a good deal. And then of course, lastly, your dispatch for profits tech, right? Your Dispatch Pro, also with Service Titan. The cool thing about it is that our goal is for you to focus in on the customer experience. It's very hard to do that if you're so focused on stuffing the box, filling the appointments. So it's a matter of turning that product on, and then from there, being able to focus in on the customer's experience, basically being able to affect your own income. What's the whole point of it all? Well, the whole point of it all is for a CSR dispatcher and even a lead coordinator to focus more of their time on the customer experience, to get to the point where they want to be paid a small base as well as a percentage of the average ticket that comes in. You guys, that benefits you, that benefits them, that benefits everyone. And that's how we get a team that's not just a call center anymore, but they're a profit center. They're a profit center that's focused in on taking great care of the customer. So I'd say that's a pretty good wrap up. What do you think?
That is a great wrap up. Yeah, I love how you put it in a nutshell and just roll it together. It's almost like you've spoken to people or been on podcasts before.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Cool. I love it, man. So good times. So parting thoughts. What's if people can implement one thing today, what is that?
Well, you know better than I do what, and when I say you, I'm talking to the contractor, right? You know better than I do what is needed, right? If you can do one of these things, whether it's as simple as, if you're already using Service Titan, then great. Call and inquire about second chance leads and how that works. Call and inquire about Dispatch Pro. You may have Dispatch Pro on and you're not utilizing it correctly. Maybe there's some help that you need, and there's a ton of companies out there that can teach you those things. But many of you probably know in your heart of hearts that you're not going to do these things on your own. And if that's true, I appreciate your honesty. Let us help you. Okay. PowerSellingPros.com. We'd love to work with you, talk to you about what's possible. We can help you properly utilize all of these technologies. That's the whole point. The whole point is we've got hundreds of contractors that love these technologies, whether it's Relo, whether it's the second chance leads from Service Titan or Dispatch Pro. They just simply do not have time to properly apply them or utilize the data that comes from them. Let us do it. Let us do it for you. Just go to PowerSellingPros.com. There's a demo there. You can click on the demo and we can take you through it. Now, if you feel like you can do it on your own, awesome, do it. That's why we do these podcasts. We want you to succeed. We want you to find that Goldilocks zone and find more fulfillment and joy in your job. So thanks a lot, Sam. Really appreciate the opportunity.
I love it, man. Yes. Thank you for being here. This is, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. You definitely rank among especially in the industry and the trades, as like such a uniquely cool company. And I love how over the years, often replicated, never duplicated. That's the highest form of a compliment. And so it's always cool to have you on. So for everybody listening, make sure to go to PowerSellingPros.com. Definitely a trusted partner with Close It Now. And again, everybody, I honestly, there's zero on the back end for this. I just really love Brigham and his company and the way that they care for people. And so, so that's it. So the link will be in the show notes. So make sure to go follow the link to Power Selling Pros to check that out. Also, super quick, if you want to grab a copy of the online course, it's the full Close It Now sales system, complete with an entire module for objection handling, an entire module for door-to-door scripting. That's at hvacdoors.net. Also, just go to closeitnow.net and you can learn more about the coaching programs available or how to hire me as a speaker for your next event. I'm going to have several engagements this year. So as soon as they are locked in, I will let you know. And the first one is the American Dream Conference in Houston, Texas. That is going to be, let's see, let me make sure I've got the right dates on this guy. I just got my graphic, which will be, I'll put it up on social media, but it's June 20th and 21st. I'm going to be speaking on the 20th. So reach out to me. You can go to americandreamevent.com, but reach out to me. I have a code for a discount. So make sure to do that. Sean Crane is going to be speaking there. Tommy Mello spoke last year. So very high level speakers at this event, and it's going to be pretty killer. So pretty kick ass. Really excited about that. But that's it, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate that. And but watch out. We've got a lot going on this year with Close It Now. Brigham has a lot going on with Power Selling Pros. They're exploding as well. For everybody out there, just because generally speaking, the market maybe has been down for this last year and a half, couple of years for a lot of companies. That does not have to be you, because him and I work with companies all across the country who are doubling and tripling these last couple of years, and it's almost like when they have doubled down on these soft skills the last few years. It's almost like they're taking the business from everyone else because no one else has the soft skills. Just throwing that idea out there.
You're totally right, Sam. They get on the phone and they say, hey, I just want a ballpark price, or I just want to know what you charge to come out, or I just want to talk to a technician. And if you're not trained to handle those types of calls, you're going to lose them. And that's exactly what's happening. And in the back of your head, you're going, wow, yeah, I don't even know how to book those calls. Well, guys, that's the only thing that's coming in right now in this economy.
100%. So get with somebody that does know how to book them, which is Power Selling Pros. So, all right, everybody. Brigham, thanks for being on. We're going to end this out just like we always do. Before I do, one last request. If you've ever gotten value from this podcast, I would love if you went on and left me a 5-star review for the podcast. That would be awesome. If I read your review and mention your name, message me, and we will do I give a free coaching session to everyone who leaves a review and reaches out, and a gift that no one else will receive goes to you. So thank you for that. And but everybody, until next time, go save the world one heat stroke at a time.